and my phone haven't stopped buzzing. Now I turned it off, so I won't get any notifications from my messenger. But it's been stressful, and I haven't gotten that much sleep. But I'm really excited about it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what a young person can do in the European Parliament and how we can connect the youth with the EU in a better way.
One of your big policy pledges was to fight for, changing the way Europe works, a green transition. How realistic is that? Because even you are obviously having to rely on traditional transports.
It's gonna be hard. Right now, we're working on changing the meetings so that we don't have to go to Denmark or our home country every week, but maybe can do 2 weeks in Brussels and then a week home. So we'll minimize the time on a flight. I hope that I can use the train also. It takes around 16 hours from Copenhagen to Brussels, so it's going to take a while. But I'm grateful to see that some countries in Europe have already put taxes on fossil fuels for the flights, and that a lot of Central and Western Europe have already electrified the trains, which is something we're really bad at in Denmark. But I hope that we can see over time that we'll get a greener transportation.
But we saw in France with attempts to introduce maybe a fuel tax. We saw a lot of anger among the Gilets jaunes, for example. A lot of anger in cities like London when there's talk of clamping down on diesel cars. Working people feel that green policies, at least right now, are going to do them out of a job and do them harm. What's your message? Is Europe actually ready for this green transition?
Well, we need to be ready. Because if we do not fight the climate crisis, we might as well just give up. But of course, it's an issue that when we do the green transition, when we also see in Poland when there's a lot of coal industry, that's going to be really hard. So we need a social Europe that can also catch the people who's going to fall out of unemployment because their job changes. But I think that we can get them over in greener jobs, or otherwise work more with the social Europe and the social unions. And in Denmark, we have this tradition that when we put taxes on greens or on fossil fuels, for example, we then compensate with a green check and do it that way. But of course, the social part is important if we need to make the climate movement be just not for the rich people, but also for the whole population.
Over the next 5 years, tell us about the ways that you're going to try and continue reaching young people. How are you going to try and keep them in the conversation?
Well, one of it is having them on visits and going to the high schools and visiting them. And then I'm going to use my Instagram a lot. Probably I can show them how life is beyond the big walls of the European Parliament, and show them that even though you get elected, you're still a normal person. I hope to be a normal person in 2 years still, but and show them the everyday life. And I hope that I can still be a person that people aren't afraid of, and that they can write to me and tell me how they feel and what they want to change. There's been, I think, 200 or 300 people writing to me on Instagram in the last couple of days, and I hope that will continue.